Hello and welcome back. We're now working with converting measures of solids. So previous lesson we worked with liquids and we did converting liquids between imperial and imperial, metric and metric, and imperial and metric. So today we're looking at just working with solids, and it's going to be a similar process as to what we talked about yesterday. Again, here are my equivalency charts here, and again, I'm going to be getting this up as an anchor chart in the room, and then you'll get an individual copy as well. So jumping right into it, because I talked about the conversion charts in the previous video. Looking at converting kilograms to grams. When I look up there, it's one of those ones that isn't listed, so I do need to make sure we add that. So in 1 kilogram, we have 1,000 grams. So we're going to make sure that's added to the chart. So, like I said yesterday, that conversion chart provides us with a ratio to start with. So 1 kilogram for every 1,000 grams, and that's equal to so many kilograms to so many grams. The question tells me I have 9 kilograms. So I take that 9 and I divide it by 1. So process yesterday was you take the number that's by itself, divide it with its partner. So kilograms matches up with kilograms, and we get 9. We take that number and we multiply it by the remaining number, so that's the 1,000. So we end up with 9,000. So we end up with 9,000 grams. That's our final answer. All right. Similarly, going the other directions, grams to kilograms. I know that 1 kilogram, oops, write that up properly, 1 kilogram to 1,000 grams. So that comes from our conversion chart, is equal to so many kilograms to so many grams. They tell us we're working with 2,400 grams, so I know 2,400. You then need to take the number that's by itself, so that's the 2,400. When I'm talking about numbers being by themselves, on this side of the ratio, there is only one number provided. So we take that 2,400, so 2,400 divided by its corresponding value, the 1,000. Using the calculator, we get 2.4. We take that number and multiply it by the remaining number, which is 1, and we end up with 2.4. So that's our final answer. All right, so there's how we do our conversions. So very, very important that you have or are comfortable with the process, because as I said before, yes, you'll be able to Google it, but there are going to be times and places and situations where you're not able to go ahead and do that. So it's important that you remember the process. So meters to yards. We are looking at going from meters to yards. So we're going to go back, look at our sheet, and look for meters to yards. And as we look for the chart here, it's right there. 1 meter is 1.09 yards. So 1 meter to 1.09 yards. That would be equal to meters to yards. So what are we given? We know 55 meters. Number that's by itself, 55, divided by its counterpart or partner, the 1. So that's 55. Take that number and we multiply it by the remaining number, the one we haven't used, the 1.09. And using our calculator, we end up with 59.95. All right, so there's our final answer, 59.95. All right, kilometers to miles. Again, looking at our sheet, we are looking for kilometers to miles. So as we search through, there's our kilometers to miles, 1 to 0.62. So 1 kilometer to 0.62 miles. But when you set up the proportion, then it's going to be in the same order, kilometers to miles. Okay, what's given? We know we're dealing with 17 kilometers. So 17 divided with its matching or counterpart, which would be the 1. So it's 17. Multiplied by the remaining number. So 17 times the 0.62. We end up with 10.54. And that's our answer, 10.54 miles. All right. So just finishing it off, and I'll also finish off all the examples here. kilograms to pounds. Kilograms to pounds, right here. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. 1 kilogram for every 2.2 pounds. That would mean that the ratio will be in the order kilograms to pounds. We know we have 450 kilograms. So we take the number that's by itself, the 450, divided by its counterpart, or the number that matches up with it on the other side. So we have the 450. We take that number, and we multiply it by the number that we haven't multiplied by, and we end up with 990. That's our answer. So 450 kilograms is 990 pounds. All right. Last one here. So it's going the opposite direction. It doesn't really matter to us which direction we're going because of our knowledge of ratios. So here, it's still in the order of kilograms to pounds. So we now have 220 pounds is the known information. So you take, again, the value that's by itself, so that's that 220, divided by the one that it matches up with, the 2.2, and we end up with, so when we do the 220 divided by 2.2, you end up with 100. Take that 100 and multiply it by the number that wasn't used, so that's the 1, and you end up with 100 kilograms as our answer. So 220 pounds is 100 kilograms. Last example for the note. I want to know the dimensions of a 2x4. So many people here have heard of a 2x4. Okay, it's a dimensions common piece of wood that's used in construction. So if we want to know the actual dimensions of a 2x4, we need to do a conversion here. So we're going to move from 2 inches, and we want to go to millimeters. It says move it to the metric millimeter. So we want to know, first of all, we need to find the conversion chart. So that's where we're going to start. So we're looking for inches to millimeters. Inches to millimeters. And we have inches to centimeters. So I guess that's what we're going to have to run with right there. So there is our one we're going to go with. So 1 centimeter is 0.39 inches. So 1 centimeter for every 0.39 inches. So we know that we are dealing with centimeters to inches. We know that we're dealing with 2 inches in this case, or to start with. And the nice thing here, and I'm talking about, if we find the length in millimeters for 2 inches, we know that the other one's just going to be twice as big. It's 4 inches. So that proportion's true all the way through. So take the number that's by itself. So we take the 2 inches, we divide it by its partner, the 0.39. So 2 divided by the 0.39, and we get 5.13. 5.13. Take that answer, multiply it by the number that wasn't used, it's still 5.13. So 5.13 centimeters. So therefore, 2 inches is equal to 5.13 centimeters, or to move from centimeters to millimeters, we multiply by 10. So we end up with 51.3 millimeters. So that would mean the 4-inch measurement would be twice as big. So 5.13, make it twice as big, would be 10.26 centimeters. Or we do the same process there, we multiply by 10, and we get 102.6. And that's in millimeters. So therefore, a 2x4 is equal to a 51 millimeter by 103 millimeter. So probably not going to catch on too quick, all right, in terms of the construction world, because if you were to go into Rona or Moffett or Home Depot and ask for a 51 by 103, they're going to look at you kind of funding. We still use the 2x4, but those are the actual dimensions in terms of the metric system, the millimeters. So there we are. So we're just practicing today, converting between the two, and you're going to get a mixture of liquids in there too, so it's still a good skill to practice so you know what the process is so we can deal with future topics here.